Good morning, everybody. Paul Romero here. Sell a house wholesale real estate training number 19 on Wednesday, September 10th, 2014, here on a lovely, beautiful Tahoe morning, nice and brisk and cool. Looking for something in my notes that we wanted to talk about today, but I don't know that I have it in here actually. So anyway, yeah, John is with us on the call this morning, so say hi to the crew, John.
Oh, good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday, September 10th. Paul's coming to us live again from Tahoe, and it is a beautiful day here in Phoenix. I was almost washed away on Monday by the insane rains. And funny thing about that is I went out to meet some prospective sellers on Monday, and I went to an area, Paul, where these people live near a wash, and I met with the seller. Getting to her house, I thought I was traveling on dirt roads. Apparently, they had become so flooded that this water and dirt and rocks and mud just washed down off the mountains and covered the streets. And the lady had told me that the night before, she saw there you can hear my New York accent, a guy canoeing down the street. I thought that was kind of funny. Yeah, welcome to the hangout. It looks like we're right on time. I was actually looking through my notes for the same piece of information, Paul, that you were looking for, and I was unable to find it. But I take so many notes, but it doesn't matter. We have so much content to get into today. Should I give a quick reiteration about what we talked about on Monday, or is there something that you want to go into first?
No, go for it.
All right, well, basically, the overall theme of our call on Monday was a concept from the book, The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker, where he has 17 wealth files, and by wealth files he refers to programs of your own mind that we're all subject to and in some cases victim to. And what he does throughout this book is basically kind of point things out that would strengthen your belief system if you can look at some things you may already be believing in a different way than you're looking at them. And wealth file number 8, and I'm going to read this verbatim from the book, basically is rich people, let's just say successful wholesalers, are willing to promote themselves and their value, and poor people, unsuccessful wholesalers, wholesalers, think negatively about selling and promotion. And what I had talked about on Monday is the importance of having a strong belief system in the value that we as wholesalers offer our seller clients. Have a strong belief system in that value. Define the service that so that when a seller asks you what it is that you do, it is introduced to them in an attractive way that tunes into their radio station of WIIFM, what's in it for me, and not to take, to expect some people that you're going to do business with, some sellers, to treat you quite negatively in this business. But not to let that deter you from the value that we have to offer. And I have a fantastic story of a property that I just got under contract on Monday, which will actually kind of shed some light on the value that we have to offer. So Monday, I had quality leads that we've been marketing to. Went out to seek out 5 sellers on Monday, and the first seller that I met with, long story short, and I'll get into the long story, I got his property under contract at 8:30 that same night, Monday. Went to his house to speak with him, and I said, Michael, that was his name. My name's John. I understand you have a vacant property here, in this part of town, and I'd like to talk to you about purchasing that property. He was like, no, I don't own it anymore. I lost that in a bankruptcy several years ago. It's got liens on it, and the lien holders own the property. and he didn't even realize that he owned this property anymore. I did my research. I knew that he owned this property still. And the reason I bring up this story is because that evening when I went and I contracted the property and I explained to him how bankruptcy works, and that you don't lose a property when you go through bankruptcy. That's not what the bankruptcy means. He walked away from this property with very misinformed years ago. And here I was. This guy was living in a bad situation in a very rundown trailer home, in a very rundown park, in a very rundown part of town. Here I am, showing up to his house to speak with him with a service that not only provided him with information about the status of a property he thought he had lost, but was actually thanking me for the opportunity to now be able to sell that property and have some money to put in his pocket. And, I bring this up because of, any of the negative people out there come from a place of negativity. And you don't take what other people say personally. But when you reach a seller like this that's in a poor situation, and you can educate them, and you can buy their property and put money in their pocket that they didn't realize they were having coming, and then they're thanking you and so appreciative. We offer a fantastic service to people. And that's what I kind of want to talk a little bit about today, and I'm going to turn this back over to Paul, is that we need to, clearly define what our service and product is. It needs to be clearly defined, and it needs to be presented to our seller clients in an attractive manner that tells them what is in it for them and how we, the owners of SellAHouseArizona.com, can offer the sellers. You want to take it from there and add a little something to that, Paul?
Well, that goes exactly with, like you said, what we left off talking about on Monday, which was the three main factors of that were, yes, promoting your value, and as the wealth file says, not being afraid to promoting your value, that if you have any intention of being successful and wealthy, that the only way that you're going to achieve that is by promoting your value. So, and obviously right there, just, your expression of what wholesaling is all about. We are offering a service, and we're offering a great service to a lot of different people. Now, the next thing that we were talking about on the other day was reversing negativity, in the fact that you're always going to have people that are going to call you back on one of your letters, or are going to not be responsive if you knock on their door, or when they pick up the phone. They might get angry at you for the fact that that they might get angry at you for the fact that you just have their phone number and you were able to call them. I mean, but the fact of the matter remains that that's just going to happen. Some people are just angry people. Some people just have a problem with anything and everything, and some people are just going to exude that upon you, and you just have to be able to stand there and come from a point of view within your own mind, knowing that, it's probably not me. It's probably this person. They got something going on in their life, whatever it is. It's probably not me, because I know I'm offering a fantastic service here, and you have to have those two pieces together. You have to be able to have the belief in your product or service, as well as the so strong that you can sit there and you can, like I said, take that to the point of going, okay, this is how, this is not about me. This is about them. And then the third thing that we're talking about is the USP, your unique selling proposition, which is basically how you promote your value to the public. And wholesaling is a very unique opportunity, and we see a lot of people out there. Phoenix is a big market. There's a lot of other people out there who are successful wholesalers. There's a lot of other people out there who are budding wannabe wholesalers, and there are a multitude of people out there who are, budding wholesalers that they're just never gonna they're never gonna succeed because, as John mentioned out of the Millionaire Mind book, that the poor people think that sales and marketing is a bad thing, and that's within their programming. And these poor people, it's not their fault. They're raised that way. That's what they've come to know throughout their life, and it's just the way that they think about things and the way that they view things that's preventing them from being successful at wholesaling. Because even though they want to try it, even though they think they can do it, even though they get out there and they make some effort, deep down inside they have this little voice, the little man on the shoulder saying, you can't do this. You got to try to go out there and sell this, and whatever the case is, but it just, whatever it is that prevents them from doing so. And that's why we talk about mindset so much on these calls, is because you have to be able to you have to be the type of person that can be able to overcome those things. First of all, become aware of the fact that these are deep down seated issues that need to be overcome. Secondarily, then open your mind to the fact that, okay, now that I realize that maybe the way I think isn't the proper way to be thinking, now I have to open my mind to, okay, where can I find better information, and go out there and seek better information, and then have the willingness, to learn that information and then compare it to what you know now and determine what really is the truth, what is better, what is right, and what is wrong, and what is more beneficial to your success. So promoting our value in wholesaling, like John says, we offer a great service, although there's always going to be negative people. Now, sometimes we can even reverse these negative people, just by having a strong belief in your value and having a unique selling proposition where you can present your value in a way that that the person with the WIIFM, what's in it for me radio station on full blast, can suddenly see, oh wow, maybe there is some benefit from this for me. Maybe I should change my tune and listen to what this fellow has to say, and maybe there is something here that can benefit me. So those three things are key factor in your marketing, your presentation of your business, your promotion of your business, your negotiating with sellers and buyers for that matter. Basically those three things come into like the core of your marketing and sales programs in how you develop your wholesale business. So yeah, that's what I had to add to that, John.
Yeah, no, very good, very good. That's awesome. Hey, you know what? I just want to throw something in. This isn't real estate related. I'm listening to Paul talk, and I'm sipping on my coffee this morning, and I discovered the best way to sweeten your coffee. Screw putting any milk or creamers or any of that crap in there. Maple syrup, pure, organic, real maple syrup. It is the most delightful coffee I've ever drank in my life. Anyway,
that's having an open mind right there, buddy.
Yeah, no, there's a gold nugget for somebody that enjoys coffee. Put pure maple syrup in there; it'll blow your socks off. Anyway, Paul, you had talked about a little bit about the 7 steps to financial freedom, to business success on Friday, I believe. I just want to point something out. If you're out there and you're someone that wants to learn, and you're got a willingness to learn and act and do, and you're actively looking for good information, 2 things to look for, I think, online right now would be a book called Speed Wealth, I believe it's called. Speed Wealth by T. Harv Eker. You can typically download it for free. Talks about the 7 steps in a great, concise manner. You can read the book in an hour and a half, and it'll change your perspective and help you in determining your value and building your business to something that you could be financially free in 3 years or less. Another thing is, if you, one of my personal mentors and Paul's as well, a man named Jeff Fagan, he has a similar thing out there as the Speed Wealth book, but his take on it is called the Money Machine Express. You could probably find his presentation if you Google him, Jeff Fagan, Money Machine Express. The reason I bring this up is because this is getting going exactly in the direction of where we're taking you. The 7 steps. Number 1, real quick, not going to get too deep into it. Every single phone call, every single hangout that Paul and I do is all about your belief system, which is the number 1 step to success. Is you have to be open to learning, willingness to learn new things, and by learning, putting those things you're taking in and taking action in it. Your belief system is critical, and your willingness to learn and open to change and realizing the majority of stuff you've probably heard throughout your life is BS, bull, or other people's belief system, BS, bullshit. That's number 1. We don't need to get too deep into that. Like I said, we talk about this every day. Number 2 is you have to be able to deliver massive value. Delivering massive value. The law of income states that you will be paid in direct proportion to the value you can deliver to the marketplace. We deliver value with what we're doing in wholesaling. Therefore, that's why a lot of wholesalers can cash big checks. That property on Monday, I believe that we're actually looking at a $30,000 payday when we flip this deal. I'm going to probably have someone in escrow as soon as I get the title report back today by tomorrow morning. The reason we're going to get a fat check off this is because we provided massive value. We found somebody that had no idea that they even owned this property anymore, had thought it was gone, was in a bad situation, and now they get to put money in their pocket as well. Win-win. We've delivered massive value, therefore we get massive checks. Number 3 is timing. Timing. It's always a perfect time to get into real estate, no matter if it's an up market, down market, sideways market, the Phoenix market, the California Tahoe market where we're doing a deal. Wherever you are, now is always a good time. Paul,
Quick correction. Quick correction. Good time to get into wholesaling real estate, not necessarily real estate. There are bad times to get into real estate.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
We're
talking about. Well. Okay. Yes. Just it's always a good time to get into wholesaling real estate. Paul, I'm glad you pointed that out. That is important to take notice of. In 2009, if you were in real estate, I know a lot of millionaires who are now hundredaires because of bad timing. So, yeah. And number 4, and that's what we'll get into today for the rest of the time, is systems. You need a system, and by this we mean a business system, and a business system is a repeatable process that produces a profit. And what I'm specifically referring to here in a wholesaling business, in order for a wholesaling business to be successful, is you need a marketing system that brings in qualified prospects. And I'm going to let Paul take it, and he can talk a little bit about marketing systems and what we mean by a qualified prospect.
Well, actually, what I'm going to talk about here is our system. Property Noodlers. Now, how many of you guys know what a noodler is? You may or may not. It's been around for some time now. You've probably seen a noodler is a catfish fisherman who actually, instead of using the traditional methods of a pole or a net or whatever for fishing, they jump right in the water. They stick their arm in the hole where they know a catfish is hanging out, and the catfish actually takes their fist or their hand into their mouth, and I think they make a fist then, and then they pull the catfish out of the hole. That's noodling. That's catfish noodling. So our program happens to be property noodlers or property noodling, because what we do is we go directly to the source. We go directly to the hot leads. We're not marketing generic mass, hope somebody out there likes what we're sending and calls us information. We're actively finding the highest prospects available, and we are pursuing them directly, one-on-one, face-to-face, or directly over the phone, or however it is. So that's the difference between um, your general wholesaling systems out there, which are a lot about blanket marketing and just putting out massive amounts of marketing, and playing the numbers game of, one in every 100 is going to equal a phone call, or 10 in every 100 is going to equal a phone call, and one in every 10 phone calls is going to equal a deal. Well, if you want to play numbers, that's great, but if you want to go direct to accessing and sourcing deals, we do it the opposite way. We target market, and we target market ourselves directly. We don't do a lot of that blanket marketing situation. So we've created a system that is unique to what you may have ever heard or learned about wholesaling. And if you want to jump in with a unique and productive system that can literally have you, talking to a very motivated seller in a very, very short period of time. I'm not going to put any time frames on it like everybody always, gives you the, oh, well, you'll be closing a deal in 30 days. Yeah. You get it, right? You can't put a guarantee on anything in this business. Okay, you never know. We go out and we talk directly with one person, like John did yesterday. First person you talk to out the day, bam, by the end of the day we got a deal. There's other days we go 3 days, talking to 20, 30 people a day, and nothing. So I mean, you just never know. Okay, but we can guarantee you that very quickly you will be on a deal with our system, opposed to the general systems of, like I said, blanket marketing and waiting and hoping and playing the numbers game of 1 out of every 100 is a deal. And the thing about that too is, if you've been studying somebody's system, that's great. Problem with those systems is they're only giving you one tool. A lot of times there's a lot of different problems out there that you need to resolve for people, and a lot of times you might get 10 phone calls, but you might only have, for instance, you might only have a pipe wrench in your toolbox, right? And you might get 10 people that call that need a window fixed, or a roof repair, or some squeaky floor joist fixed, or a garage door, or whatever. But all things that your pipe wrench can't fix. And the same thing goes with wholesaling. You might know how to operate one particular system and sort of solve one particular problem for a potential seller that gives you a call, but you might get 10 calls from sellers that don't have that exact problem, and even though they might be highly motivated, you might not have the knowledge, education, and tools to be able to help them. And then boom, there goes a lost deal, and now you got to go play the game and narrow down another 100. So working the system backwards, the way we do it, the real estate, the property noodling, we call it, going right to the heart of the deal and right to the heart of the best qualified deals. That's what we're all about. That's what the property noodler system is about, and that's what we'd like you to join our team.
Is it back to me?
Got to you.
Okay. I just wanted to expand on something that you said, Paul, and that is about the blanket systems that most of the wholesaling programs out there are going to teach you. And my response to that is, been there, done that, and it worked past tense, okay? And that leads me into something that's very, very, very important for you to understand. And it doesn't matter if you're in wholesaling, network marketing, the paint business. It doesn't matter what your business is. There's one constant in this world, and that is change. And understanding that the world, with the internet and the speed of information, that the world is changing constantly. And it's neither good nor bad. It's just neutral. It's inevitable, and change is constant. And you have to be aware of that and open to learning and being flexible And with a lot of what we were doing was working, and some of it still works, but it's a very passive way to get deals. And I don't like sitting around waiting for a deal to come in. You need to take action. And what works today, I can guarantee you will not work tomorrow. And to just give you a little insight into those programs, a lot of the programs that you're going to get out there is a packaged up deal that you're going to spend, quite a bit of money on. And I'm not saying I'm not poo-pooing that stuff. Me and Paul eat that shit up because there's gold nuggets there. But we also know, because of our experience, is that what these programs do is, hey, Mr. Guru, I figured out a marketing system that works phenomenally, okay? And I've tested it, I've utilized it, and I've done it for the last year. And now I spent 6 months, and I put together a program, and I sold it online. And in 6 months, I don't know, 100,000 people now have bought my program. I'm rich off the program, richer than I probably was off of what I am teaching you by selling you the education. But by the time you're seeing that program, it's something that was already developed 2 years prior to and is no longer working. Me and Paul are doing live hangouts on a daily basis. We are constantly flexible with the changes that are taking place in our marketplace, and we're not packaging together a one-time, here you go, buy it and do this in perpetuity, and that'll make you successful. What we're offering here is a one-on-one daily mastermind, being part of our team and growing, learning, and being flexible every day, keeping our finger on the pulse of the market and always looking for what works. And when what we're doing is no longer working, well, it's time to change gears. We're in third, we need to get in the fourth. And shit, if we're in 10th gear and we need to have an 11th gear, we're going to create that. So change is constant, and you have to be flexible. And I can guarantee you, and I'm going to turn it back to Paul to wrap us up, what works today will not work tomorrow. Go ahead, Paul, take it.
Yeah, exactly. And like John said, we've and there's new products coming out today. I look at the internet and I scour real estate products every now and then from time to time. I've seen a couple of new products that have been offered up recently. And after listening to their 15-minute, whatever it is, their sales pitch to get you to sign up for the big, or no, maybe, no, I think I did. I think I actually did listen to the whole hour, their whole hour webinar of what this is. And the two that I happened to watch recently, very unique and creative names, new names of offering an old system,
Yep.
Sure.
Yep. I have to just say yep. Go ahead.
I mean, there's probably a little bit of new information in there. There's probably a couple of new little tweaks in there that will definitely make it a little bit better. But it's still something that if you've been buying real estate programs, you've probably already got that one on your shelf. And so like John says, we're doing these Google Hangouts live daily. Now, obviously, we're not giving you our program live on air here because we want you joining our team. We want to teach it to you one-on-one and get you out there. And obviously, we're talking about deal share program here. So yeah, we're looking to make some money off of your efforts. We're not going to lie about that. I'll tell you straight up. We're definitely looking to make some money off of your efforts. But through us making a little bit of money off of your efforts, you're going to pick up the skills and the knowledge and the education, the programming, the mindset, everything that you need to then take that and be successful on your own with no longer having to share with us, and point you, and give you a mindset that, like John says, give you a mindset that embraces change, that has you prepared for it, looking for it, anticipating it, and making moves now, for change that you see coming down the road. Because I mean, like John mentioned one thing. He said, hey, if something changes, it's time to change gears. Well, you know what? It's usually time to change gears before it changes, when you see the change coming, so that once it gets there, you're able to keep pace with it. Otherwise, if you're making your change when the change has already happened, well, you're never going to be able to catch up to that. You're always going to be chasing it. So having forward thinking is part of what we are trying to impress upon people. And with that, we're at the 30-minute mark, John. So I'm going to end this thing out with the Napoleon Hill prayer that goes, "O universe, I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom with which to make better use of the riches I was given at birth, consisting of the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever means I desire." And with that, we're going to end this call. John, you got any last thought before we head out of here?
I'm very excited to be back here and get even further into some of the stuff that we didn't get to today. Friday morning at 8:30. Make it a great week, and we'll see you back here at 8:30, Paul.
Yep, and property noodlers at gmail.com. Drop us a line and get on board.